First, I usually always have my bow with me, and it's usually in its own case that goes in my case. So if I don't need to take it out, if I'm playing a jazz gig and my case gets shoved in the corner, it's still protected, and I learned this the hard way. Next, I usually have my bass rosin. I like to use Colstein rosin. Without the rosin, the bow's useless. I usually have a cord. If it's a jazz gig, I'm in it's a loud situation, I might be using an amp. Always have an extra one, kind of a cheap one that just stays in the case for when maybe the cord breaks, or maybe I forget to put my main cord in my case, or someone else on the gig may need a cord. I usually have a backup here, and that's come in handy quite a few times. This is kind of a in-pin stopper that hooks to a stool. When I play orchestral gigs, I like to use a stool, and even with the rubber tip on my bass, if I'm sitting down, it'll often slip. So I can hook this to the leg of a stool, and this is going to prevent the bass from sliding, and I don't have to use any excess energy to sort of keep the bass from slipping while I'm trying to play. Now, if you don't have a rubber tip on the end of your end pin, you definitely want to get one, and you can. There's all sorts of different. I think they call one a rock stop, and different things that can prevent your bass from slipping on the floor. Probably the next thing I like to keep in my case is a tuner. And I know everybody has a tuner on their phone these days, and also the low frequency of the bass that the phone didn't pick them up so well. And in noisy situations, I can plug into this from the pickup on my bass and tune up anytime I like. Pencils for rehearsal notes, or anything that I might need to mark in the music. Practice journal almost of things that I'm working on. Maybe I'm up at school and someone mentions an artist or mentions a musical example or something. I can always pull my book out and jot down anything I want to look at later so I don't forget it. And I like to keep a notebook. Again, you can use your phone for this sort of thing, but I find that if I'm going to actually write out a musical example or something, it's a little easier for me just to do this with a notebook. My maybe music that I'm working on. So if I get a chance to practice, I have things that I'm working on. I also always usually have a cloth as well, so I can, if I'm playing a lot with the bow, the rosin tends to fall on the top of your bass, and if you leave it there too long, it can cause the cracking in the finish. And I also always have, like, my wife's a nurse, so there's always these alcohol wipes, extra alcohol wipes laying around the house, and I like to use these to clean the strings with. And you can clean old rosin off the strings. And I clean, and especially in COVID these days, if you're using a school bass or something like that where multiple people are playing the same bass, wiping down the fingerboard with an alcohol wipe is a great idea. Do not use these on the top of the bass. It will ruin the finish on your bass. One more thing in my bag is I've had this for years, kind of before you could record well with your phone, but I prefer this one. It's just a little handheld recorder, but it has these two microphones here that I find record a little better than a phone does, especially for the low frequencies, the bass. And I like to, every once in a while, just record a gig maybe I'm playing or maybe a practice, so I can listen back and critique how I actually sound versus how I think I sound. I think that's all in my bag.